Hello everyone, today we have another VOD review coached by Coach Cal on the Gosu Valorant page. The student today is Lamp. She is Gold 3 and has been stuck around this rank for a few months now. Mechanics are sometimes an issue for Lamp, but today this is not the issue. Let's get right into it. Okay, so starting pistol round here, she's got 2 smokes and 1 flash. Let's see what she does with it. So got a neon, so gonna have to be fast with everything.
Ready?
And the first smoke is out. Little slow, as everyone's already peeking. There's no second smoke out, and the flash doesn't even get to be used.
Did he ever go?
Also could have been swung from heaven here. Gotta be careful of that. Closing the door is the right idea. Now, if she had a teammate close to her though, and the smoke was going, I would have say, don't close the door, have her flash in here, and take a pick into tree. Now that would be honestly a great play. She's down numbers, so a lot of the time when you're down numbers, you have to, push out and try to get the numbers back in your favor. That would have been a good play instead of just sitting back. But regardless, she doesn't have a teammate with her, hasn't come for this, and has closed the door. Has the flash ready, but doesn't want to flash Reyna, so flashes tree. Bit of tough timing there. Jett is already dead. Comes out of the smoke. Hits a nice shot.
There's one outside.
Has another smoke again. Could go and smoke immediately. Probably, I probably would have done tree anyways. Though, does get the trade, and that's the first round done. A decent start to the game. Round is 1, so that's huge on attack on ascent. Okay, so we're on to 3-1. Now, the other team is like half buying at this point here, so this is when you watch out for shotguns, things like that. And let's just see how they take site. Okay, so that smoke's not ready already. So now she has to wait to get it ready. And then smokes out. No flash used. Needs to come to rotate here. I wouldn't just run into that judge. Awesome that they get a kill, but yeah, I would definitely be saying, let's get out of here, guys. They can re-hit later, but they definitely don't have to commit to this. It's always nice if they do manage to get back to the A site, because then they can res. And this is when we do have Sage res online. They do end up leaving the A site, and it's a 2v2, sorry. Gets a hill, which is good from the Sage. Has flash. Smoke coming in a few seconds. Gonna close the door here. Okay, playing the smoke. Not a bad play. There's nothing for her to get pop flash through. If there was a KO or a Phoenix, even a Reyna, and there's other agents too, I would worry about playing in front of a smoke like that. But in this case, perfect. Here's the stim. That's definitely a lurk smoke if I've ever seen a lurk smoke. A very interesting slow there. And then a huge committal on the fact that someone else is in market. We've completely forgotten about CT, and also remember there was that lurk smoke. So gotta be really careful not to overcommit to this. If she wanted, what she could have done is she could have flashed this and then looked behind, so that if anyone was there, they would be flashed and they can't come out and shoot her in the back, and or vice versa. Okay, so this is 4-2. They've got meh guns, not the best. And yes, it looks like they're gonna try to take B side. They have a lot of ults to do so. Let's see it. And yeah, it looks like they're half buying for next round here.
Yeah. That may be close. Check cross.
Okay, get the kill. Now, immediately I'm thinking 2 things. I'm thinking that ult didn't hit anyone, so no one's super close. The next thing I'm thinking is there could be someone backside. Well, we've got Omen ult, so we can go check that and or potentially commit to that Omen ult onto backside too. So this is a great way of splitting up each other, also making the enemies have to watch different things. They don't know if the Omen ult is back here or over here, though they are assuming it's going to be back on B. Late on that smoke. Really late on that smoke, and ends up just getting spammed through the smoke. She spends so much time trying to smoke something off and then just gets herself spammed. Remember, we have a neon, right? So the neon can isolate this off. So in theory, right, like she can smoke off CT, and then the neon will wall like this will block off this, and people can get around onto site if she wanted to. So I probably would have thrown the smoke, TP back site, and take the site. Though they've taken way too long. Now they've got 2 people that have already rotated, and it's just not a great situation at all. So on to the next round, 5-3 here. Lamp's doing pretty well. She's 6-4 with 4 assists. They're gonna take B site again, which remember, it was a failed attempt last round. So got a full kit here, gets walled off. I'm probably flashing this. Like, soon as I see this wall, I'm probably flashing this. And then I'm probably saying, let's rotate, guys, because, I mean, I've already seen Brim, and Sage has just walled us off. Gets a kill, that's great. We don't have to commit to this, though. We can just back off if we want. Though, they are going through. Sees Brim on stairs, should be flashing stairs, and both her and her teammate dies. If you flash stairs there, we're on site, we're clean, we're probably getting a kill, 2 people aren't dying. These are very small things, okay? Like, in your ranked games, remember, your teammates are going to make mistakes all the time, but the least amount of mistakes you make, the better off we are. And like, I can't control if our Reyna loses this fight. What I can control is flashing this person, and then giving my Reyna an easier opportunity to get the kill. On to this next round here, it's 5-3, and they have decided to take A site. Now there is a crucial error that Lamp makes this round, and we're going to go over it in quite some detail. Okay, so just walking around in the buy phase. Smokes aren't ready. Smoke is late. Now also, look at this wall here. The Neon could have done a better wall for people to lurk out onto. You know, you can use the wall as a way of entering in, then we can be slower on our smokes and faster on our flash. Because remember, we haven't really used that flash to entry site yet. And we don't have a breach on this comp, and a flash is just really good on Omen in general. We should be flashing this off, though we're too late to do that. Watch what happens. Okay, 1 person's died to it, and now you're TPing when it's not even cleared, and 2 people have died to it. So there's 2 people who have died to the Raze in Gen without needing to. You flash that, you're on site, and we're most likely getting that kill and not dying, and now it's going to be a 5v3. So pause. Lamp clearly has an issue with timing her smokes and her flashes. One thing to alleviate this is, instead of jumping around in the buy phase, is getting that smoke ready in heaven, and then once the round started, you quickly throw it, and then as you're running, you throw the tree one, which is easy, and then you'll flash. That way, everything is timed really quickly, and you won't have delays. But there is another way you can do this. What you can do is, as soon as the round starts, you can hit that TP button into this corner. When you TP in this corner, as soon as you press your smoke, it actually lines up with the right spot for you to smoke it. So you don't have to do any of that movement business. Smoke off heaven, and then flash for the generator. And boom, you've entered site. So moving on to 8-3. Lamp, as you can see, has an ARP in her hand. She's actually had this ARP for a few rounds, but we've skipped by them. Now, ARPing on attack is, you know, sometimes a viable option. I wouldn't say all of the time. Ascent, you can get some picks, like in tiles and top mid. And an Omen is an okay character with an ARP because you are able to TP out of situations. Though, in this case, like, Lamp is the smoker of the team. I want, like, if these guys are going to push A, her to be ready to smoke quickly. By playing in tiles, it does give you a really long way to have to smoke. She goes to tiles with her ARP. Doesn't find anyone here. Also, I want to, you know, preference this with they have decent economy right now. Someone could have bought her a Vandal, or she could have even bought herself her own Vandal and placed it down in tiles here while she had an ARP. Went to see if anyone is here. No one peeks, picks up her rifle, and then TPs over to the site into wine or something. Throws the smokes, entries onto site. That way we can use our ARP, but then we can also have a rifle. And this is on the last round of the half, right? So like, we're not wasting money by doing that. Anyways, she doesn't do that. Now, a few things I noticed. For one, our Neon has walled as if they want to take site, so I'm probably getting a smoke ready. For 2, this is one hell of a lurk smoke if I've ever seen one. She doesn't actually get lurked out on it, but it's terrifying to me. If I see a smoke like this, I'm thinking someone is going to lurk out on me. Obviously, in this case, they've probably just made a bad smoke. Smoke did just disappear as she was TPing, but completely turned her back to it as well. So I'm absolutely terrified for her in this whole circumstance. And look, her team's on site. We've used no smokes. We haven't used our ult. Still, you know, waiting to get that picked up mid for the rotator, but not had smoked yet. Now comes in the smokes. Now remember, when we plant on site and they've given us the site, they're likely playing for retake in a fast manner. So people are already ready to go, raise ult. So a lot of time when people are ready to flood is right as the spike is planted, okay? Because that's like at our most vulnerable time, we haven't set up yet, and or just before the spike is planted. Not having a smoke there is truly detrimental. Luckily, it wasn't in this case though. Okay, so they have broken doors now. Fade has dogged someone. Still got a smoke for tree. Haven't used it yet. Really wide on this angle and misses the shot because it gets a kill. Still no smoke here. and then smokes off heaven again when, you know, really, if I've got an ARP over onto heaven, like, I'm probably pretty good holding it, but I'm more worried about my teammates dying here from tree. Still got that flash. Still has that flash and really does nothing. Okay, really just does nothing. Party by myself is literally partying right now while Lamp is back in main with an ARP, just watching everything happen. A few things she could have done. One, she could have smoked this off, you know, just keep rotating smokes on this. Two, she could have flashed for someone, be calling, hey, I'm gonna flash for you, and then flash for them. There's not enough comms from Lamp here. And number three, she has that ult, okay? So one thing I love to do as an Omen is I love to just ult somewhere random and then even just cancel it, okay? And as long as these guys are far enough away, they won't hear that you've cancelled it. And now the entire time when they're thinking, we're gonna make this perfect retake, you could be anywhere. So they now have to turn around, check spawn, wonder if they're behind you over in tree, all those kind of things, right? It just messes with the mind. It's last round, why not? Okay, so we're now on to the second pistol round of the game. It's 9-3. Great half from her and her team. Has a smoke, 2 flashes. Gets the call B. Takes a long time to smoke over from B. That's the only problem with playing all the way over onto A site, you know, and not playing mid/market, is the smokes do take a long time, and as you can see, they're already out. Not to say that you can't play smokes on A, but that is definitely the issue with it. Okay, smokes backside, gets flash ready, and flashes. But her team is not ready for that. For one, she should be calling it, and if she's not going to call it, she should at least watch until they're ready. Make sure this rain is ready to peek of it. Make sure the fade is, like, came down, ready to swing off of it. That being said, that person is blinded, shoots 2 bullets and then reloads while their team is fighting. I would a lot rather you be down there fighting with your team instead of you reloading your 2 bullets. You got lots of bullets left. You can make this happen. That being said, gets the kill. Comes down. An okay retake, 1 off of gunfights, not really off of timings and utility. A decent flash, just not commed, and reloading way too quickly. So skipping on to 11-5, definitely a few rounds have gone by, but Lamp hasn't really made any detrimental mistakes, and well, not really many mistakes at all. It's just kind of been like she hasn't been in the gunfights by the time she rotates, and then the other team wins the round when she's in like a 1v3 or something. But this round, there's a lot of things that go on, so it's definitely worth watching. Let's do it. Okay, so I sees nothing over at A site, and you have your Neon jump peek in this. Remember, nothing over here, so now Neon's now making his way up. Look at what Reyna's watching. Like, this, Reyna's got eyes on all of mid. Sage has eyes on tiles. The odds that they're A, pretty darn high. Now, if they're A, I probably wouldn't just be standing here. If someone wide swings you, you're dead meat. Fortunately for Lamp, in a second here, you're gonna see a jet come, basically shift walking. This is why you don't shift walk corners jet or slow peak corners. This is why you jiggle first and or, you know, wide popping swinging, and also, you know, swinging off of utility. Now look at their team comp. They don't have any flashes, so that's definitely even more troubling for, you know, them taking sites. Anyways, she gets the kill and then smokes this off. The fade ult hears 4 people. If the fade ult hears 4 people, that means there's only 4 left. That means they can't hear anything. I keep saying hears, but I mean that hits 4 people. And then the Omen can just come over to here and run because they're not going to hear anything and flash. And while making that flash, the Neon is running. And obviously you want to time the flash with the time that the Neon comes around to about here. Omen flash. And then a perfect crunch. Now that's what I would like to see in this kind of situation. You're going to see in a second that the Omen pops off regardless of that. But they were looking at him, so it's definitely a nice 4K from the Neon, but a flash would have helped a lot in this case. Okay, so the last round we're going to watch is 12-10. This is the last round of the game because they end up winning. As you can see here, Dragon ends up dying over an A main alone to watch both Cat and A site. Definitely not a great situation. I'd be worried about turning around and getting lurked on. Normally in these kind of situations, you can play like here so that you're watching this angle here and you're also watching these people sneak up. You can also use maybe one of your smokes, though it's 17 seconds away, to isolate something. So in this situation, let's watch what Lamp does. She goes to check that Cat out because a little worried. Here's people over at A. would be very concerned of that flank. She's even having pings over towards tree saying, hey, like you could get flanked at any time. So she really does have to be wary of her back. She doesn't get punished in this case, but there's a lot of the time there'll be someone lurking up here and she manages to get away with it. Nice 2 kills. Oh, I'm still so worried about that flank, even though I've seen this before. And uses her last smoke to smoke off main. I would rather you smoke off the spike. As you probably all know, that Valorant has just, you know, nerfed the ping system. So you will not be able to ping the spike through a smoke. Pings will not go through it. So you won't be able to just sit there, ping and spam. Though, in many occasions, depending on where the spike is planted, if you've played the game for long enough, you should have a pretty decent ability to spam the spike even without that ping. You should kind of know the general vicinity. So I still prefer smoking off the spike and then having Lamp flash these guys and then taking the fight into main while this is being diffused. That is a more healthier situation. In this case, pings were still, you know, able to go through smoke. But as you can see, they're getting absolutely lit through in this case, and they do end up killing the diffuser because we didn't smoke off the spike. Lamp, smart enough though, probably should have used her flash again, but lurks up into smoke with 2 bullets, notices that, gets the kill, and then wins the game. So overall, a pretty good game from Lamp, but definitely some big issues. The first and main issue of the game is timings, okay? Lamp's flashes were too slow, and some of that comes down to the fact that she's not saying, hey guys, just wait for a second, let me get ready, okay, I'm smoking now I'm flashing, and boom, like we go in. In those kind of situations where you're counting it down, everyone's on the same page. In this situation, everyone wasn't on the same page and her utility was just not fast enough for it. So that's one way you can alleviate it. The other thing is just communication in general. Definitely would have wanted more communication from Lamp. Oh, and lastly, you know, map awareness in general. She was a little late to making her rotates, as well as like on attack with having the ARP over in tiles and a team being on site on A, just pushing in there without any smokes or anything. So a bit of map awareness issues. But overall, a pretty good game from Lamp. Now, if you want to watch more VODs just like this, you should check out the video that's on your screen. And we'll see you guys next time.